Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Jai Radha Ras Bihari, Radha Ras Bihari Radhe, Jaya Sita Ram Lakshman Bhakta Hanuman, Sita Ram Lakshman Bhakta Hanuman, Jaya Bala Gopal, Jaya Bala Gopal, Bala Gopal, Jaya Bala Gopal, Jaya Jagannatha, Jaya Baladeva, Subhadra Jaya Sudarshanam, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Gurudev, Prabhupada, Srila Gurudev, Nittai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nittai Gaur Hari Bol. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Here we go. Hare Krishna. Okay. Anusadhyam.
Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devam Saraswatam Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet. Nashtaprayesha Bhadreshu Natyam Bhagavata Sevaya. Bhagavatirmuttama shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Nashtike. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakhaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Sadamahyam Dadadi Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavansha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakanvatam Shah Namavo Vishnu Padhaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamannati Namane Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharane Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashati Deshu Tarane नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती नामने श्रीवासुभानवी देवी दैत्याय कृपाब्धये कृष्ण संबंध विज्ञान दायिने प्रभवे नमः माधुर्य जल प्रेमाढ़ श्री रूपानुग भक्तिद श्री गौर करुणा शक्ति विग्रहाय नमोस्तुते नमस्ते गौरवाणी श्री मूर्तये दीनतारिणे रूपानुग विरुद्धाप सिद्धांत हारिणे नमो गौर किशोराय साक्षात् वैराग्य मूर्तये विप्रलंभार सांबोधे पादांबुजाय ते नमः नमो भक्त विनोदाय सच्चिदानंद नामने गौरी शक्ति स्वरूपाय रूपानुगवराय ते गौर ब्रह्म भूमे स्वं निर्दिष्ट सज्जन प्रिय वैष्णव सर्वभौम श्री जगन्नाथाय ते नमः वाञ्छा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रधायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामिने गौरतिषे नमः पंचतत्वात्मकं कृष्ण भक्त रूपा स्वरूपकं भक्तावतार भक्ताख्यां नमामि भक्त शक्तिकं हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांता राधिका कांत नमोस्तुते जयतां चिरतौ पङ्गुर्मम मण्डमतिर्गति मत्सर्वस्व पदाम्बुजौ राधा मदन मोहनौ दिव्यात् वृन्दारण्यकल्पद्रुमदा श्रीमद्रत्नाकर सिंहासनस्थ श्रीमद् राधा शील गोविन्द देवो पृष्ठालभिः सेव्यमानौ स्मरामि श्रीमान् रासरसाम्बि वंशीवत तत्सिता कर्षन्वेनु स्वनार्गोपी गोपीनाथ श्रीस्तुनयन् तप्त कांचन गौरांगी श्री राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरप्रिये जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण
Hare Krishna.
So I think Lakshmi മാത്രമേ ഉള്ളൂ അല്ലേ കുട്ടികളായിട്ട് fine verse 36 37 and 38 ഈ മൂന്ന് വേഴ്സുകളാണ് so verse 36 पापमेवाश्रयेदस्मान् हत्वैतानाततायिनः तस्मान्नराः वयं हन्तुं दार्तराष्ट्रान् स्वबान्धवान् स्वजनं हि कथं हत्वा सुखिनः श्याम माधव पापमेवाश्रयेदस्मान् हत्वैतानाततायिनः तस्मान्नराः वयं हन्तुं दार्तराष्ट्रान् स्वबान्धवान् स्वजनं हि कथं हत्वा सुखिनः श्याम माधव पापमेवाश्रयेदस्मान् हत्वैतानाततायिनः तस्मान्नराः वयं हन्तुं दार्तराष्ट्रान् स्वबान्धवान् स्वजनं हि कथं हत्वा सुखिनः श्याम माधव हे कृष्ण
Hare Krishna. Right. Lakshmi.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु हरे कृष्ण माताजी
Hare Krishna.
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय पापमेवाश्रयेदस्मान् हत्वैतानाततायिनः तस्मान्नर्हा वयं हन्तुं दार्तराष्ट्रान् स्वबान्धवान् स्वजनं हि कथं हत्वा सुखिनः स्याम माधव हरे कृष्ण प्रभु
Hare Krishna. Durga.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी ओम
Krishna.
नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय पापमेवाश्रयेदस्मान् हत्वैतानाततायिनः तस्मान्नार्हा वयं हन्तुं धार्तराष्ट्रान् सबन्धवान् स्वजनं हि कथं हत्वा सुविनश्याम माधव. हरे कृष्ण प्रभुजी.
Hare Krishna. Right. Swagata, you don't have a book, right? Okay. A translation, I think they don't have the English book, so you have to read the translation purport. Anuradha, you can do that both.
Translation. Sin will overcome us if we slay such aggressors. Therefore, it is not proper for us to kill the sons of Dhritarashtra and our friends. What should we gain, O Krishna, husband of goddess of fortune? And how could we be happy by killing our own kinsmen? Krishna. So let's move on to the next sloka. 37 and 38, I think.
Purport also you can read if you want.
Okay, Prabhu. Verse 36 purport. According to Vedic injunctions, there are 6 kinds of aggressors. A poison giver, one who sets fire to the house, one who attacks with deadly weapons, one who plunders riches, one who occupies another's land, and one who kidnaps a wife. Such aggressors are not at once to be killed, and no sin is incurred by killing such aggressors. Such killing of aggressors is quite befitting any ordinary man. But Arjuna was not an ordinary person. He was saintly by character, and therefore he wanted to deal with them in saintliness. This kind of saintliness, however, is not for a Kshatriya. Although a responsible man in the administration of a state is required to be saintly, he should not be cowardly. For example, Lord Rama was so saintly that people even now are anxious to live in the kingdom of Lord Rama, Ramarajya. But Lord Rama never showed any cowardice. Ravana was an aggressor against Rama because Ravana kidnapped Rama's wife, Sita, but Lord Rama gave him sufficient lessons unparalleled in the history of the world. In Arjuna's case, however, one should consider the special type of aggressors, namely his own grandfather, own teacher, friends, sons, grandsons, etc. Because of them, Arjuna thought that he should not take the severe steps necessary against ordinary aggressors. Besides that, saintly persons are advised to forgive. Such injunctions for saintly persons are more important than any political emergency. Arjuna considered that rather than killing his own kinsmen for political reasons, it would be better to forgive them on grounds of religion and saintly behavior. He did not therefore consider such killing profitable simply for the matter of temporary bodily happiness. After all, kingdoms and pleasures derived therefrom are not permanent, so why should we risk his life and eternal salvation by killing his own kinsmen? Arjuna's addressing of Krishna as Madhava, or the husband of goddess of fortune, is so significant in this connection. He wanted to point out to Krishna that, as husband of the goddess of fortune, he should not induce Arjuna to take up a matter which would ultimately bring about misfortune. Krishna, however, never brings misfortune to anyone, to say nothing of his devotees. Hey Krishna. So, Prabhu, should I read both verses together?
Yes.
Okay, verse 37 and 38. यद्यप्येतेन पश्यन्ति लोभोपहत चेतसा कुलक्षय कृतं दोषं मित्रद्रोहे च पादकं कथं न ज्ञेयमस्माभिः पापादस्मान् निवर्तितुं कुलक्षय कृतं दोषं प्रपश्यद्भिर्जनार्दन यद्यप्येतेन पश्यन्ति लोभोपहत चेतसा कुलक्षय कृतं दोषं मित्रद्रोहे च पादकं कथं न ज्ञेयमस्माभिः पापादस्मान् निवर्तितुं कुलक्षय कृतं दोषं प्रपश्यद्भिर्जनार्दन यद्यप्येतेन पश्यन्ति लोभो वहद चेतसा कुलक्षय कृतं दोषं मित्रद्रोहे च पातकं कथं न ज्ञेयमस्माभिः पापादस्मान् निवर्तितुं कुलक्षय कृतं दोषं प्रपश्यद्भिर्जनार्दन. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Right. Okay. Chandra.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Yadyapi etena pashyante lobapata chuchedasaha kulakritya kritam dosham trado drohe cha patakam.
Okay, next also.
Kadam nanyeya asamyaha papam
Asmabi.
asmin.
Kadam nyayam asmabi.
Kadam nanyeya asmabi papam asmanira.
Papadasman nivartidum.
Papadasmaniratitum
Nivartidum.
nivartitum kulakakshikritam dosham prapyasyabhyesanatana.
Prabhashyabhir danajana.
Prabhasyatirjanadana.
Okay, right.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Okay. Hare Krishna. Lakshmi.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
यद्यप्येदेन पश्यन्ति लोपोपहत चेतसा कुलक्षयकृतं दोषं मित्रद्रोहे च पातकं कथं नाज्ञेयमस्माभिः पापादस्मान्निवर्तितुं कुलक्षयकृतं दोषं प्रपश्यद्भिर्जनार्दन. हरे कृष्ण प्रभु.
Hare Krishna. Okay, Durga.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु. यद्यप्येन पश्यन्ति लोभोपहत चेतसः कुलक्षयकृतं दोषं मित्रद्रोहे च पातकं कथं ज्ञेयमस्माभिः पापादस्मान्निवर्तितुं कुलक्षयकृतं दोषं प्रपश्यद्भिर्जनार्दन. हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी.
Okay, right. Rasmanjini Maharaj, chalo. Okay, Renuka Mataji.
यदि अपि एतेन पश्यन्ति लोभोपहत चेतसां कुलक्षया कृतं दोषं मित्रादोहे च पातकं
Katham
कथं अस्माभिः पापाद् अस्मान्निवर्तितं कुलक्षयकृतं दोषं प्रपश्यद्भिर्जनार्दन.
Right. Jai Mataji, chalo. Can read.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
Yes, Hare Krishna.
Vedana pashyandi lobho bahada chedasaha kulakshaya kridam dosham mitradrohe cha padagam kadam najneyam asmavi pabadasmani vartidum kulakshaya kridam dosham prabhasyadbir janardana. Hare Krishna.
Okay, right. Rasmanji, ready? Mute. Unmute you. Okay. Ramya Maji can read.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Yadyapyedena pashyandi lobo bahada chedasaha kulakshayakridam dosham mitradrohe cha padakam kadam naneyamasmabi pavadasman nivartidum kulakshayakridam dosham prapashyadpir janardana.
Can read the translation purport also.
O Janardana, although these men overtaken by greed see no fault in killing one's family or quarreling with friends, why should we, with knowledge of the sin, engage in these acts?
purport. A Kshatriya is not supposed to refuse to battle or gamble when he is so invited by some rival party. Under some obligation, Arjuna could not refuse to fight because he was challenged by the party of Duryodhana. In this connection, Arjuna considered that other party might be blind to the effects of such a challenge. Arjuna, however, could see the evil consequences and could not accept the challenge. Obligation is actually binding when the effect is good, but when the effect is otherwise, then no one can be bound. Considering all these pros and cons, Arjuna decided not to fight. Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Right. I know.
I think you forgot Swagata, that name.
Swagata is but she doesn't have a book.
Okay, fine. So let's start. So in verse 36, Arjuna is saying to Krishna that, and before also we have discussed, and here Arjuna is giving an indication that he wants to quit from the war. So that verse is continuing. So Arjuna is saying, sin will overcome us by killing such aggressors. So here aggressors, that is in the shloka, Hatvaitan Atatayina. Atatayina. The word Atatayina means the aggressors. So here in the purport, Srila Prabhupada has just mentioned about the six aggressors. So if anyone wants to know, they can also note it down. Otherwise, in purport clearly it has been mentioned there. So the six aggressors have been mentioned here. A poison giver, one who sets fire to the house, third one who attacks with deadly weapons, one who plunders riches, one who occupies another's land, and the last one is one who kidnaps a wife. Such people are considered as aggressors. So here, these, as I said, Atatayana means aggressors. So according to scriptures, as I said, there are 6 kinds of aggressors, which I said before. So according to Manusmriti, in Manusmriti, it has been mentioned that these 6 kind of aggressors are to be killed. These kind of people are supposed to be killed. No sin will be incurred when you kill such people. When you kill such aggressors, there will be no sin. Okay, the person who is doing such activities, the above mentioned activities, if we kill them, there will be no sin will be incurred. So now, interestingly, the most interesting part here is Duryodhana and his party, that is Kauravas, had done all these 6 kind of aggressions. All these 6 kind of aggressions were done by Duryodhana and their party to Pandavas. So they had tried to burn the house where Pandavas were there. They had put them in that story. I hope you all might know that. And then they had tried to add poison in Bhim's food and kill him. And then they tried to disrobe Draupadi. Okay, so and then even by cheating, they were challenged for gambling, and by cheating, by gambling match, Pandava's kingdom was also taken away. And then and even now at this time of the war, they were standing in front of Pandavas with the weapons to kill them, right? These 6 kinds of aggressions were done by the Duryodhana or Kauravas to Pandavas. So, obviously, as it has been mentioned here, such people are to be killed and no sin will be incurred. So there is no, actually, even if Arjuna is killing them, he will not incur any sin. But still, Arjuna is saying something here in this verse. That Arjuna is saying, Papam eva shredasman hatvaitan atatayinaha. If we kill them, we will incur the sin, even if we kill such aggressors. So in scriptures, it's already been mentioned that, sorry, before that, I think I should say an example that Ravana, even Ravana was an aggressor, right? Because Ravana had tried to kidnap, not tried, he had kidnapped Sita Devi, Mother Sita. So even he was an aggressor. So what did Lord Ramchandra do? He killed him. Yes, he tried to kill him, right? So even he just destroyed the complete army of the complete army of Ravana. We should supposed to say that not even his dynasty was left. Practically everything was wiped off except Vibhishan. Who Vibhishan took the shelter of Lord Ramchandra, so that's why he was left. So like even Ravana was an aggressor, so he had to kill Ramchandra killed him for the act which Ravana did. So he gave him Rama gave Ravana the sufficient lesson for his aggression, and if from that it will be a lesson for the people that it will be a lesson for the people not to be such an aggressor, and it will be what should we say, and peace can be established by that. So even Lord Rama did so to Ravana. So like here, Duryodhana and his brothers all were aggressors. So according to Shastras, aggressors should be punished. That is what the law which is given in Niti Shastra. In Niti Shastra, it is mentioned that the aggressors are supposed to be punished. They are supposed to be killed. And here, in the case of Arjuna, Kauravas are the relatives, brothers. His own guru is there. His grandfather is there in the other side. So his relatives should not be killed. Actually, they are his relatives. In Dharma Shastra also it is mentioned that relatives are not supposed to be killed. So it is mentioned in Dharma Shastra that relatives are not to be killed, and in Niti Shastra it is mentioned that the aggressors are to be killed. So here, like it is Arjuna is in a situation that he has to select the best, Niti Shastra or Dharma Shastra. So here in this two, there is a clash between these two instructions. So one has to judge this from which Shastra he should pick up and which he has to follow. So Niti Shastra means the injunctions in the scriptures which are meant. Just please note it down. Niti Shastra means injunction in the scriptures which are meant to make the life comfortable. This life comfortable. Okay. Niti Shastra is for this life to be comfortable. And like, yeah, Chanakya Niti was mainly meant for how we are supposed to live a comfortable life in this, a comfortable life. This life, how we are supposed to live comfortably. It is mentioned in Niti Shastra. That is why it is called Niti. Niti means living in code of conduct, which puts you in which puts you in trouble. So now, when it comes in the case of Dharma Shastra is not Dharma Shastra means to make the life comfortable, not only for this life, even for the next life. It can make you comfortable if you follow the Dharma Shastra. So here, when we take both these Shastras, Dharma Shastra always takes the precedency over the Niti Shastra. So that is why on this basis, Arjuna is saying that even though they are aggressors, but since they are my relatives, if I kill them, then I will be, what should I say? The sin, I will get the sin. So that is why he's following her. Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah, I will incur sin.
Yeah, I'll incur sin by just killing the relatives. So whatever Arjuna is saying, that sounds logic, right? So we can understand that Arjuna is well versed in Niti Shastra and Dharma Shastra, and his argument in this verse is mainly based on that. And therefore, it's not, he is saying that it's not proper to kill the Kauravas on the basis of Dharma Shastra. Arjuna is saying. But there is a thing called Adhyatma Shastra. Adhyatma means related to soul. So Dharma Shastra talks about the its next life also. It's being considered. Means, but it is mainly considering about our body, which we are just going to acquire in our next life. So it's so we can just understand that it is based on sense enjoyment in this life and the next life. Based on sense enjoyment, please just note that. But Adhyatma Shastra, as I said, it is referring purely to the soul, which is beneficial for the soul. Okay, Adhyatma Shastra, which is beneficial for the soul. That means it is that will be pleasure for Krishna. So Adhyatma Shastra here takes much precedency over not only Niti Shastra but also the Dharma Shastra. I hope you got the point. Adhyatma Shastra takes precedency over Dharma Shastra. So I think we are supposed to follow Adhyatma Shastra, right? So here Krishna is personally present with Arjuna in the chariot, and he is guiding, Krishna is guiding and asking Arjuna to fight. So therefore, Arjuna has no reason to worry. He has no reason to refuse Krishna's instruction. Because of fighting, he is fighting the battlefield of Kurukshetra. It is his Adhyatma duty, right? It is his duty, even as it is Arjuna's responsibility since he is a Kshatriya. So, as above mentioned in Niti and Dharma, as I said, Niti Shastra and Dharma Shastra, Arjuna compared that and he followed the Dharma Shastra and he thought that, okay, I will not kill them since they are my relatives. It is a sin, so I will not do that. And then now, when we come to the verse 37 and 38, here Arjuna is saying, O Janardana, although these men, their hearts overtaken by greed, see no fault in killing one's family or quarreling with friends, why should we, who can see the crime and destroying a family, engage in these acts of sin? So here Arjuna is asking, according to what Arjuna has thought, it's logically he's saying that no, we are not supposed to kill them. So here in these two verses, Arjuna is talking about a theme which in coming verses also it's carrying. In few verses also we can see that. So here he is saying kulakshaya kritam dosham. And both the verses it has been repeated. Dosha means fault. We already know that. And kula means family. Kulakshaya means family destruction. Kritam means one who. So here kulakshaya kritam means one who destroys the family. The one. So here in this here Arjuna is talking two things. Yadyapi etena pashyanti. Yadyapi etena pashyanti means here Duryodhana and his party, they are not able to see the fault of destruction. They are not able destruction of a family. Actually, here the family is being destroyed when a war is happening. So that fault, Kauravas, they are not able to see that. They are doing something which is not proper, that Kauravas are not able to see. Why they can't see? The reason also he has said why they can't see that fault, because their mind is overtaken by greed. So therefore, they are not able to see that dosha. That dosha, because the mind has been overtaken by the greed, that dosha can't be, they cannot see that. But we can see, we means Arjuna is saying, we know that we can see there is a dosha lying by doing so. So why we are supposed to like something which is leading to dosha, we know that, and why we are knowingly doing that? Why we are knowingly just going to fight and just why we are supposed to refrain from papa? That is, since that's a sinful activity according to Dharma Shastra as mentioned before. So, but there is another case lying here. Generally, a Kshatriya is not supposed to refuse the battle or invitation. In Purport, it's clearly mentioned by Srila Prabhupada that a Kshatriya is not supposed to refuse to battle or gamble when he is so invited by some rival party. So he is not supposed to refuse because it's a part of Kshatriya which he has to do. That's why when Pandavas were invited to gamble by the Kauravas, Kshatriyas, as they are Kshatriyas, they had to accept that gambling invitation was they had to accept it, and they had and similarly again here in the case of this they are standing here in this battlefield because they had challenged them to come and fight, and they are not supposed to turn the face and go away. Since they are Kshatriyas, it is their duty to do that, and if they do so, it is considered to be covered. So here, and it is not befitting a Kshatriya. It is not a thing that, okay, I'm not just fighting, I'm I'm not there for anything. He can't just say so and just go. A Kshatriya has to do that when he has been challenged. So here in Purport, under such an obligation, Arjuna could not refuse to fight as they had challenged. He could not refuse because he had been challenged by the party of Duryodhana. In this connection, Arjuna considered that the other party might be blind to effects of such a challenge. That the words from there are to be highlighted. Now, for this, I can just give an example. Like if a child is challenging to an elderly person that, okay, I'll just kill you. Just think a child who is just 6 or 7 years old, if he is challenging to an elder that, okay, I will just kill you. That does not mean that elderly person should take up that challenge, right? If a child is saying, as elders will they say, okay, okay, it's a challenge, you can't kill me. Such a challenge an elderly person won't at all take, since a child is saying that. So similarly, here Arjuna is saying, see, they can't see, they don't know the consequences of this if they fight. At a family destroying, here a fault of destroying a family is happening. So such discussions are just coming in the coming verses. So Arjuna is saying simply that Duryodhana can't see, we can see, then why knowingly we are supposed to just go and just do such a faulty thing. That's what has been mentioned in these two verses. So I think, Prabhu, that's all.
Okay, right. That's okay. The short verses.
Yeah.
Yes. Arjuna is saying that, okay, there is, like you mentioned, the Kshatriya is not supposed to turn down a challenge for gambling or war. But Arjuna's contention is that these things can be accepted if, and like you mentioned, if the result is good. If the result is not going to be good, then there is no need for you to accept this. That is his contention, because he knows that the result is going to be bad because all this family is going to be destroyed. So these people are not aware of this. Kauravas are not aware of it because, as we said, because they are overtaken by greed. Because of they are overtaken by greed, they are very ready to fight, and they don't mind destroying the family. But Arjuna is very concerned about that. So that shows that is not only a Kshatriya, but is a Vaishnava also. But then question may be asked, then why Yudhishthira accept this challenge? Yudhishthira should also know this rule, isn't it? Everybody knew that when they are invited for gambling, definitely they're going to cheat. Because, in fact, Vidura, he sends a message. He gives a warning that if you go for gambling, they'll definitely cheat, because opposition is Shaguni only. He's very big cheat. He doesn't play straight. He's not a fair fighter. He is not a fair player. He is full of cheating mentality. So it's possible that you'll be cheated, and you'll find end with a very, very bad end. But Yudhishthira is still inclined to go. Why? Because this invitation has been sent by not Duryodhana, but Dhritarashtra. The point is, Dhritarashtra is now acting as a father of Pandavas. Pandu is no more, so Dhritarashtra is a father. So Shastra also says that irrespective of whatever it comes, you have to obey the orders of the spiritual master and your father. The order of father and order of spiritual master, or in the wish of the father, should not be disobeyed. It should be always be obeyed. So that's why Yudhishthira, because since Dhritarashtra has invited, not Duryodhana, he was forced to, compelled to take up this challenge. Although he knew that this dice is loaded against him and there will be cheating, will definitely be there. They will be cheated and their kingdom, everything will be lost. He knows that going to be very destructive end for them. Still accept, because the Shastra says that order of the or wish of the father or spiritual master should always be obeyed. Like Ramachandra, you know that case of Ramachandra. Dasharatha, although he has proclaimed Ramachandra to be the king or the emperor, but when Kaikeyi asked him to make Bharata as a king, then Dasharatha called over Sri Ramachandra and said that, son, you are not going to be the king. Although I have proclaimed you to be king, you are not going to be king. Bharata is going to be king in your place. Ramachandra said, okay, no problem. Yes, sir, I agree for that. So that shows how that Supreme Personality Godhead is setting an example for us, that the order of the father and the spiritual master is more important than any Shastra. You find an example of Parashurama also. Parashurama's father, Jamadagni, he orders his sons to kill their mother, Renuka. But most of the sons, they disobey. But Parashurama obeys his father and beheads his mother. Can you just imagine that? A son beheading mother. But that is being ordered by the father. He does that also. So that is how important is order of father. That's why Yudhishthira, he knows all the Shastras thoroughly. He knows Nidhi Shastra, he knows Dharma Shastra, he knows Atma, Adhyatma Shastra, everything he knows clearly. And he knows this thing also. So that's the reason. Otherwise, there was no reason at all why Yudhishthira should accept this challenge, because no good thing is coming out of this. So Arjuna is arguing in that manner only. Okay, right. Thank you very much. The class. So tomorrow there is no class. It's supposed to be a combined class, but we think that Sundays, it's not a good thing to have a class on Sundays, because we cannot follow up a lot of new duties which we want to follow up. So if we hold classes on all days, it'll be difficult for us to follow up these devotees. So for the time being, we'll continue with 3 classes each for children as well as elders. And let's see how it proceeds. If it is lagging too much, then we'll add 1 more class. I think as of now, it's okay. I think we are closing to next week. We'll finish the first chapter. So I think let's see how we go for the second chapter also. Right. Thank you. Anything to share? Chandra, you want to share anything?
No problem.
Chandra, you want to share? You're silent. You're mute. You have to unmute. You can't hear me? She's silent. See, unmute her. You're mute. Okay, I'm asking you whether you want to share anything. You want to share any picture?
Prabhu, I want. No, Prabhu.
Okay. Why you're taking so much time to reply? I understand.
Prabhu,
Right,
I want to share a picture.
Yeah, you can. How are you going to share? Are you on camera or you want a screen share?
With camera, Prabhu.
Right. No, we cannot see that properly. Right. Now we can see. Why Krishna looks very angry? Le, Anuradha? He looks a bit angry, isn't it?
No,
Why
Prabhu,
so?
he is cunningly seeing to that
And-
pot of in the hands of Gopi.
Yeah, he's trying to plan, no? How to
Yeah.
steal that butter. Is he behind or in front? I think he's on side, I think, no?
He is hiding. No, okay, he is in front of the Gopi itself. Yeah.
Okay. Radharani is also, I mean, she is also very cautious. She sees Krishna
Yes,
and she
even
feels that Krishna
from
may be up to some tricks.
yeah, even from Krishna's mouth is also watering, I think. By seeing
Yeah,
that
yeah. Nice. Okay, right. Thank you. Okay, Chandra. Can sing Narsim Kirtan.
Okay, Prabhu.
Right.
Namaste Narasimhaya Prahlad Hiranyakashipo Shilatanganakaraye Ito Narsimha Parato Narsimha Yetu Yami Tato Narsimha Bahir Narsimha Hridaye Narsimha Narasimha Madin Sharanam Prabhate Davakara Kamalavare Naga Budashinka Lekta Hiranyakashipo Tanu Bringa Keshavadrika Rupa Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Jaya Narasimha Dev Jaya Narasimha Dev Jaya Narasimha Dev Jaya Narasimha Dev Jaya Narahari Jaya Narahari Hari bol, 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 Hari bol. Ugram Veeram Mahavishnum Janam Sarvadokam Narasimham Bhisham Bhadram Mrityum Namamiham Ugram Veeram Mahavishnum Jalandam Sarvadokam Narasimham Bhisham Bhadram Mrityum Namamiham Jai Narasimha Jai Narasimha Shri Narasimha Jaya Jaya Padma
Padma Vrindam Shuddha Bhakti Vinashari Shri Narasimha Dev Bhagwan ki
Jai
Vaishnav Bhakti Shreshpada Maharaj ki Jai Go Premanande
Hari bol.
Vancha Kalpadruvescha Ananda Kodi Vaishnav Vrinda ki
Jai
Namacharya Das Thakur ki
Jai
Srila Prabhupada ki
Jai
Jai Go Premanande.
Hari bol.
Very well. Okay, see you on Tuesday then. Okay, right. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.